So this is the double fold card, and this is quite simple, but there is an order that you need to put it together in. So you've got your card base, then you've got your backing piece, you've got your little slider so the parrot can fly across the sky. Again, I've done Little Treasure from inside the machine's memory, so you can put whatever sentiment you want on there. And then this just opens out like so. Sorry, I'm working back to front upside down. And then that one opens up there. So your greeting can go there. That then, making this look real cack-handed. There you go, there's your pirate captain on his desert island with his treasure. And then that one folds over. So you've got the whale and the ship there. So everything that's on here, apart from that sentiment, is on that USB, and that's in your Scan and Cut because it's just a font. All right, just thought that was quite a nice card. Look. Then you've got somewhere to put your sentiment in there, and that could be a gift card if you wanted it to be, but it's just super cute. So you're going to cut your card base, which is this, and it comes in 2 pieces. So you're going to glue it. Oh no, it doesn't, it's in one. Beg your pardon, it's just one piece with the score line as a valley fold. Some are 2 pieces, some are just one. Then we're going to work with this bit. So this is your slider bit first of all, but you want to glue these in place before you stick this onto the front of your card. So you've got a deep one that has a tab here and a narrower one that has a tab on the right. So the wider one has the tab on the left, the narrower one has the tab on the right. So let's glue this in place first. And it's nice, this. It's a bit like a book that you open up and there's different things on different layers. It's quite a nice one, this. Super simple, but there is that little bit of difference. So we're going to glue this down, and we want to make sure that it's lining up to the bottom. Okay, so when we close this over, I'm going to stand it up and then press down firmly on that hinge at the back. Okay, and then this one doesn't glue onto this part, it glues onto this part like that. And again, we make sure that it lines up at the bottom. All right, and then that opens, and then you've got your slider piece there. Okay, so I'm going to put glue on the underneath of this tab. And I like to just, when I'm thinking about it, wipe off any excess and make sure that the glue goes right to that perforation line. Slide that in, make sure it's level at the bottom, and then press down firmly. So then you've got your card and it will stand like that. Okay, that's what you need to have to make sure that it's going to then open up when it's on your card front. And I wanted to show you that because if you're anything like me, I'd be likely to tuck that one inside there and then it wouldn't all open. So the next thing is your slider piece. So you have a piece of a rectangle of card. You also have the pull tab, and you have this circle here. Okay, so the circle is what your decorative element is going to go onto. This is what your sentiment is going to go onto, and this is the bit that makes the mechanism work. So what I would suggest you do on your Scan and Cut is bring on the file for this, then add your sentiment and position it on here. Okay, so actually I'm going to show you that because it's easier, I think, for me to show you than it is to tell you, and then you can physically see how I've done it. Okay, so I'm going to go on to here now. I've got the USB. Well, I've got the files on the USB. It's not the official USB. I'm not that lucky. So I'm going to go into retrieve data and into the USB, and ignore what the setup of the USB looks like. It's because they've just put the files on from their Macs. So this won't be the same on yours. You won't have packaging, etc. on yours. So we're going to the USB and into the SVG files, and then into cards, and into your, which one are we on? Double fold card. And then you've got your card base, you fold one straight, fold one wavy. So you've got different wavy ones or straight ones, depending on how you want to make your card. So have a look at them all and see what you've got. And then you've got the pull strip. So you want this pull strip, which is your last file. So we set that on the mat, and I'm just going to show you this bit. So I can get rid of that because that's the actual, oh, bear with, that's the actual mechanism itself, and I don't need the circle. I just want to show you how to work with this. So once you've got this on here, you then know how big it is. Okay, so it's 22 by 144. So I can then add, so if I press OK and keep going and I press add, and I'm just going to do a single word, let's just do happy. We're going to patterns and into our fonts, select the one that you want, and I'm just going to do happy, like that, okay? And I'm going to set that on the mat. So then all you're going to do is go into your object edit and your size, and I'm going to make sure that that fits within there, or your sentiment fits within there, okay? So I'm going to drop that down because it was 22, so let's make that 12, and it was 144, so let's just leave it at 60. So the way that I would do this now is I would pull this happy into here like that. So I've got it where I want it, ish, okay? And it is ish. And I think you kind of want to have it towards the edge, towards this, the curved end of your strip. So I'm just going to nudge that across. Now I'm going to use my alignment function. So I'm going to multiple select everything that's on the mat and press OK. And I'm going to go into my directional arrow buttons and my alignment function, and I'm just going to align it centrally, horizontally, okay? Just so that I know that that happy is right in the middle of that strip. Then what I did, and I showed you how to do this on the YouTube video about Canvas Workspace. I sent it into Canvas and I set the pull strip file as a cutting only line, and the happy, or the little treasure file, as a drawing only line, okay? So then you just download it back down, so send it in, don't move anything, just cutting line only, drawing line only, download, and then I put the draw fill function on to fill in the words. So if we do that bit now, if I press OK and tap the screen, I've got my drawing file selected. So I'm going to go into Object Edit, and there is my Draw Fill function. I'm going to switch it on and press OK. So now when I ask it to draw, if you watch this now, when I go to Please Select and Draw, it will only bring, oh, because I haven't done it in Canvas. When you do it, it will just bring up the happy, and it will draw it and it will colour it in. And then once it's done that, all you do is take your universal pen holder out and you put your blade back in and you press cut, and the draw file will disappear and it will just cut the pull strip. Now you can do it a different way, so you can draw it first, then you can bring on the pull strip and line it up, and then delete off the draw fill and cut it. But it's much easier to send it in Canvas, set them as two separate techniques, drawing and cutting, I guess, and do it that way. So it's entirely up to you. So we brought on the pull strip, we brought on the word, we aligned them centrally, horizontally, we sent it into Canvas Workspace, we set the pull strip as a cutting only line in properties, and the drawing as a word as a drawing only line in properties, downloaded it back, put the draw fill function on the word, put the universal pen holder in, drew it, took the universal pen holder out, put the blade back in and cut it. And you will end up with the strip with your sentiment in exactly the right place. That's how I found it easier to do it, but whatever you find easier, okay? So how do we make this mechanism work? Well, this is really easy. So your two inside score lines, so these two here, you fold as valleys, and the two outer score lines you fold as mountains, and it folds in to create that. Okay, I'm going to hold it that way so that you can see. So your two inner score lines and then your two that are further out. And then that goes underneath here. So you're going to pinch those two together like that. You're going to thread those through the slot from underneath. That's crucial that you do them from underneath, and then you're going to open those out. Okay, and then your pull strip is going to stick onto the top of those. So I'm going to do that with some wet glue or red liner tape, whichever you prefer. Just make sure that it's nice and straight. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there. Just like developing a little bit of a skin. Like that. And I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to wipe that glue so it's all over there. And then I'm going to stick this on top of there like that. Okay. And then once that is completely dry, that will then pull. And then you bend this back. Once it's dry, of course, you bend that back, you push that through the slot from above. Give that time to dry, and then that will pull backwards and forwards like that. And then you take your circle, pop your decorative element on there, and I put that onto there with some foam tape. Okay, so let's put that on there. Like that. This would be nice if you use the straight one instead of the wavy one, and you found a cutting file or a drawing file or a stamp of a stalk. You could have the stalk coming in and it could be a new baby card. And then that will slide again. Just get these mechanisms moving backwards and forwards. Don't just pull it once and if it doesn't slide, think, oh, I've done it wrong. Just give it the opportunity to bed in, if you like. Right, so now what we need to do is talk about how we stick this on here. So we need to put foam tape. You have to use foam tape behind here because you need to give this mechanism room to slide. Okay, and if I just stick it flat like that, it's not going to want to, it's going to want to buckle almost and create an arc. So you're going to turn this over and you're going to put 3D foam tape on the back of here, avoiding the mechanism. Okay, now have I got a thicker one than this? I think this is the thickest one I've got. I would recommend that you use quite a thick foam tape for this, as in deep, because you want to avoid this. Okay, so I would put 2 layers of this size on rather than just one. And then I'm going to put a little bit just down this side here, like that. And I'm going to put a little bit down here, but I'm avoiding that mechanism. Okay. And I can even put a little bit in between there like that. So when I turn that over and just pop it onto your glass mat and make sure that that pulls. And as long as it pulls freely, then you're good to go. Okay. So then I'm going to pop this onto my card front. And take this tape off here. So as long as you don't get any over here or here, you don't want it to encroach on that mechanism. Like that. Turn that over and then position that in place. And then that foam will give that slider room to move. And then the recipient will open that and then open that. Your sentiment can go there, or you could continue your picture. This would be nice, a nice gender reveal, wouldn't it? So you could have the stalk on there with whatever message you wanted on there. Then you could have all your baby decorations on here. And then you could have it's a boy or it's a girl inside here. It's up to you, whatever you want to use it for. But that, when it's all decorated, I'm going to do this on the overhead camera because I think it's really nice. And I actually put the parrot on, so that's out of the pets folder. This is out of the Pirates folder, and then the clouds I think are out of the Princess or the Unicorn folder, but I put a cloud on here so it looks like the clouds are moving across the sky. Can you tell I had a really nice time making all these? It was fabulous. And then that opens up to reveal Captain Pirate. I know Josh has drawn these. I think he's done an absolutely phenomenal job. And then there's a space here to put your sentiment. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Right, I'm gonna get rid of all this mess and then we'll go on to the next one.